Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
This is Season 1, Episode 10 of Hockey Talk on Wisp Sports. I'm Shannon Miller, and at Wisp Sports, we believe women in sport deserve equal coverage. Hockey Talk is presented by Instat, a video product that our team, the Calgary Inferno, uses, as does every other team in the CWHL. I use Instat Video because it's the most helpful video tool that I've ever used as a coach. In today's episode, I will talk about power and the power play. My guest this week is Jayna Hefford, the commissioner of the CWHL and a recent inductee into the Hockey Hall of Fame in Canada. Today's sidebar will be about personal power. And this week's Drill of the Week is a tactical drill, a 2v1. The Drill of the Week will be posted on my Facebook page at Coach Shannon Miller on Thursday. Thank you for joining me. I'm honored to have my own hockey podcast show on Wisp Sports and to be part of the most popular and influential podcast organization for women in sports globally. Today's podcast is titled Power, Responsibility, and the Power Play. First, let's talk about the power play. Being on the power play is an honor. It's fun, but it's also a lot of responsibility. Your teammates are relying on you to score a goal, to create energy, or to put offensive pressure on the opponent. So it's fun, it's an honor, but it is a responsibility. The power play players must match the intensity of the opponent's penalty kill, or you will lose your player advantage. Being on the power play is a lot of hard work. Coaches, early on in the season, you want to create 2 strong power play units that are very good and finely tuned. Use talented players that are willing to move the puck, willing to share the puck, and players that have good chemistry together. Build your power play using creative attacks and build your power play around your players' strengths. Work to their creativity, work to their strengths, and talk with your players and allow them to have some input on what set plays you will run and what you will be doing. Once you're established as a team and your top 2 units are humming, add an additional power play unit if you have a reasonable amount of talent left over on your team. It's a way to reward those players that deserve a chance. So create that third power play unit. And having a third power play unit, it also allows your other top players that are typically practicing power play, it allows them to practice penalty kill when your third unit is out on the ice during practice. As for the top 2 power play units, if you're working to their strengths, you'll likely have 2 different breakouts and different set plays in the offensive zone. That's all good. Both power play units do not have to be the same. Have a set plan with different options, but also read the game and be instinctual and allow players to be creative. Now let's talk about the power play breakout. On the breakout, a typical power play breakout is a controlled breakout. That's when the puck is all the way down the ice and below the dots. A defense player will hustle back, she'll pick up the puck, you'll have another 2, 3, or even 4 players come back to support that defenseman with the puck, and that player will pick it up and wheel with teammates swinging to support, or she'll stop and set, and you can run a set play, a set controlled breakout. But when the puck gets down and it's not below the dots, it gets down into your end, but it's not below the dots and it's out of the reach of the goaltender should be yelling up, up, up. And that tells your defenseman, get back here quickly, get your toe caps up the ice and move the puck up quickly because the penalty kill is changing. Your opponent that's on penalty kill is changing and the goalie tells the defenseman, get the puck up the ice simply by yelling up, up, up. When the puck comes down into your end and is below the dots, the goaltender can play the puck. The goalie can charge out of her net, be aggressive, and move the puck up the ice to catch the penalty kill players while they're changing. Now on the power play, remember you have numerical superiority. It's a 5-on-4. So when there is a loose puck, make sure you still have numerical superiority. They have 2, you have 3. They have 3, you have 4. Outnumber the opponent because possession overrides position. Once you have possession, play with poise, play with confidence, play the possession game. In the offensive zone, encourage your players to rotate, to be interchangeable, to try new things, be creative, and trust their instincts. Yes, you have to have set plays, but you also have to allow some freedom, allow your players to read the game, make good decisions, and let their instincts kick in. A really good skill to practice on the power play is repeat passing. Repeat passing and shooting off the pass. Repeat passes and one-time shooting are critical for good power plays. If the player cannot shoot off the pass, then teach them to gather the puck quickly and get a quick release shot off. The element of surprise. Coaches, teach your players how to be deceptive when they're on the power play. Encourage them to not telegraph their passes, to look away and pass in a different direction, to fake a shot and then push or pull the puck to get into an open shooting lane. Practice deception so that they can do it in a game. It's important for the power play to work hard, to create quality shots, to create quality scoring chances. But when they get the opportunity to shoot, encourage them to shoot the puck. They've worked hard to create that open lane or that open seam to attack. Get them to pull the trigger, shoot the puck when you've got the chance. Power play is working hard. They're moving the puck around. They're interchangeable, and they're looking for seams to attack. They must skate aggressively, move the puck with authority and deception. This will open up seams and allow them to attack aggressively. When your power play takes point shots, the point shots need to get through to the net. If there's someone in the shooting lane, simply push the puck or pull the puck just for that extra second, that extra couple inches to gain a new shooting lane so that you can get the puck on net. And if you can't do that, and you simply do not have a shooting lane to the net, shoot off the back wall. Shooting off the back wall in behind the goaltender, down below the goal line, that's an indirect pass to the forwards that are at the net. It makes the goaltender uncomfortable. She'll come to her post. She has to look behind herself. The penalty kill has to collapse. There will be a little bit of chaos, a little bit of confusion. So shoot the puck. Shoot it right off the back wall. Allow the forwards to hunt for that rebound. It's an indirect pass and to attack. They'll have good scoring chances off of that play. When you take point shots, be aware that you want to take them on strong side so you have an advantage for scoring on rebounds. Strong side simply means shooting and rebounding on the same side. That way the players are coming to the net, the goalie's kicking out the rebound, and you have a better chance for scoring off that rebound. Now, once a point shot is retrieved and you've got possession, passing it back up to the point is a good play because the penalty kill will have collapsed. They'll have collapsed down to the net. So if you get possession and move it to the point, it's a point of control. Points of control on the power play are typically high middle on the blue line or behind the net, using the net as a shield. Any shots from the slot, any shots in tight around the net, and certainly rebounds, they got to go up under the crossbar. You've got to do that in practice if you want them to execute that in a game under pressure. Now, encourage your players to be aggressive on the power play. Encourage them to be creative. Move the puck, rotate, open up seams, and then attack aggressively. You need player movement and puck movement to open up holes and open up seams to attack. And when you're under pressure, the penalty kill is providing a lot of pressure against your power play. Play with confidence. Play the possession game. Simply keep your feet moving. Turn away from pressure. Protect the puck. Get your eyes up. And know that teammates are aggressively skating over to support you so that you can move the puck and maintain possession as a team. Power play, work hard to create holes, work hard to open up seams to attack, and then when you do, attack aggressively. Remember, your power play must match the intensity of PK or you will lose your player advantage. Now, a good power play, it gives your team energy. You don't always have to score. A good power play is 1 in 4, 25%. That's a very good power play. But having a good power play gives your team energy. It gives your power play chances to score and creates offensive pressure, and it gives your team confidence and energy. And a bad power play, it takes energy out of your team. So no, you don't always have to score in the power play, but have a good power play, a high energy, hard-working power play, because that does give your team confidence and energy. And remind your power play people, It's a privilege and it's a responsibility. It's called power play. They are being given a lot of power to determine the outcome of the game with how good your power play is. So it is fun to be on the power play. It is a privilege, but it's also a responsibility. And coaches, remind your power play personnel that you trust them. You trust them, and that's why they are on the power play. And encourage them to be creative, to play with poise, and try new things, and to trust their instincts. My sidebar today is about personal power. When others try to stifle our potential and cage our spirit with demeaning comments and cruel behavior, it's typically for reasons of jealousy, race, sexual preference, appearance, and so many other things. People can try and stop you from ascending, from pursuing and reaching your goals, but do not give them that power. Keep your own personal power. Do not listen to these people, as they will try to limit our abilities, which will create a limited self. Refuse to be bullied, be stronger than they are, and keep your own power. And my guest this week is a person of power, Jayna Hefford, a longtime Team Canada superstar, a recent inductee into the Hockey Hall of Fame in Canada, and presently the new commissioner of the CWHL. Jayna Hefford also played for me on the first ever women's Olympic hockey team in the 1998 Olympic Games. Welcome, Jayna. And Jayna, just to come out of the gate strong, share with us all of the Olympic Games and World Championships that you've competed in for Canada and the results of those events.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. First of all, as you mentioned, I played my first Olympic Games in 1998 in Nagano, Japan, where we came home with a silver medal. Then I played in 2002 in Salt Lake City, where we won our first Olympic gold medal. I played in 2006 in Torino, Italy. We won our second consecutive gold medal. 2010 in Vancouver, where we won our third gold medal, I should say. And then my fourth gold medal was in Sochi in 2014.
So 5 Olympic Games. Wow.
And how
many world championships in there?
I played in 12 world championships, and we won gold in 7 of them.
That's wonderful. So you had a superstar career. I mean, that's how we refer to you, Jayna Hefford, just so you know. When we talk about the fact that you started in 1998 on that first women's Olympic team and continued a spectacular rise in the game of women's hockey, but the global game. So you had a long, illustrious playing career. You were one of the best players in the world for a long time. What do you contribute your success and your longevity to?
Well, I think, a big part of it is my passion for the game. And for as long as I can remember, I wanted to play hockey. And I had an older brother who played. My parents were pretty involved. And it was just sort of a passion that I don't know if I was born with it or inherited it, but it was from a young age. And that's what keeps me in the game now still. I still love the game. And I think the other part is my commitment to the preparation and my willingness to continue to get better, I'd say. So over the course of my career, I never tried never to take for granted my position on the team. I continued to challenge myself physically, in terms of the training side of the game, but also on the skill side.
Well, you were very successful. So whatever you attribute it to, it worked. 5 Olympic Games is absolutely amazing. I know people that are listening will be very impressed by that. What I think is amazing is that you're still in the game. You're now the commissioner in the CWHL, and we're going to get to that a little bit later in the interview, because first I want to talk about you were recently inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in Canada. Tell us what that was all about and what it was like.
Well, it was obviously a huge honor. As a young hockey player, male or female, doesn't really matter. I don't think you ever dream of being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And you dream of winning the Stanley Cup or winning Olympic gold medals or whatever the case may be. And so to have an honor like this post-career, where it really kind of reflects back on everything you've done and everyone that's been a part of that journey, was something that was really special. To be the 6th woman inducted into the Hall of Fame is incredible as well. And so the whole weekend, it was full of festivities and celebrations, not only of my career, but of all the people that played a big part in my career. So it was an amazing weekend, and couldn't have asked for anything better. So it's still really humbling to think about.
Well, congratulations. That's quite an honor. Like you said yourself, you're the 6th woman to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in Canada. That is remarkable, especially because we've had women's Olympic hockey since 1998. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, Jayna, I was pretty excited when I heard you were going to be the new commissioner of the CWHL, the Canadian Women's Hockey League. Explain to us what your role is and your responsibilities as the commissioner.
Well, I mean, there's obviously a lot. When I took on the role, I was sort of just coming, I guess, back into getting involved in stuff for myself. I was coming off my last mat leave. My youngest daughter was almost 18 months, and the opportunity came to me. And again, it wasn't something I ever thought about, but it was obviously interesting to me to be involved in the sport. I spent a lot of time coaching. But I always saw myself more on I thought the business side of the sport. So when the opportunity came up and I was asked if I had any interest in it, once I thought about it, I thought it was a great opportunity to have an impact on the game, to stay involved in the game, to work with the athletes and really, again, do something I'm passionate about and try to elevate the sport to a new level. So, my job here is to, I guess, help guide the direction of the league, to try to bring in new partners and generate some revenue, and also make sure that we're continuing to grow and think about the strategic decisions we have to make to get the game to the next level.
Well, Jayna, it seems like you have a very interesting role and with your responsibilities as new commissioner of the CWHL. Again, congratulations. Now let's talk about the two women's pro leagues. We've got the NWHL, we've got the CWHL. What are the differences between these two leagues?
Well, I think there's a few differences. The main one probably is our operational models. And in Canada, the Canadian Women's Hockey League, here we are a not-for-profit organization. We're centrally run. We obviously have teams in Canada, the U.S., and we also have a team in China. The NWHL is a for-profit league that has both team ownership and private investors, from what I understand, and is solely in the U.S. at the moment. So very different operationally. In terms of, I think we talk a lot about merging and is that possible? And I don't like to think anything's impossible, but there certainly are a lot of challenges around doing that. But I think we talked about earlier that the idea of having one league and that is a goal for mine. That's a vision of mine. It's just defining what that one league is.
Yes, because so many of us want there to be one women's pro league, and we'd like it to be in North America, and we would like it to be the strongest women's pro league in the world, bringing in players from around the world. What do you think it's going to take for us to create that?
I think that's what we're trying to work through and work through the challenges of how we can create that. And one league looks different to a lot of people, and some people see that as a women's NHL. Other people see that as a merge between the two current professional leagues. And some people see it as maybe an entirely different entity. And I think, for me, the vision is to have one league with the best players from around the world all playing there. And that's what I wanted when I was a player, and that's what I still believe is the best for the sport. So trying to find our way there is sort of the tricky part right now. But I think that, where there's a will, there's a way. And it's finding out the best road for that. And we continue to do that while we also continue to try to create the best experience for the players here right now in the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
Exactly. Well, Jayna, your travels have taken you around the world, and you've had many conversations with different people that have a different vision of what the Women's Pro League should look like. I've had, maybe a dozen, maybe 15 conversations with 12 to 15 different people. I imagine you've had hundreds, and everybody does seem to have a different vision. And so what we have to understand is that we are going to, at some point, have to follow one leader, one vision, and create a Women's Pro League. Some people think we should be doing the original 6 like they did in the NHL. I'm not so sure we have to follow the NHL model. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I would agree. I think we have to look at what's best for the women's game and where the hot pockets of women's hockey markets are potentially. When I look at our league, the Canadian Women's Hockey League, the Calgary Inferno, where you are, of course, Shannon, is a huge asset to our league, and I think a great market to have a team for our athletes as well. And we also have a team in China, and the addition of the team from China, I believe, is really sets us apart from many leagues in many different sports. And I think it's been a great experience for the athletes as well. So I think we need to look at the best women's hockey markets when we're looking at teams, and not necessarily having to follow exactly what the NHL has done.
Yeah, that's great. I like that. The best women's hockey markets, and put our teams there and then grow the game from there. Love that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Jayna, one of the reasons I have guests on the show is for people to get to know you a little bit more personally, not just the professional questions, but the personal questions. So you've traveled around the world for hockey and for your own personal life. What are some of the favorite places that you've traveled, and why?
So favorite places to travel on the personal side of things. One of my favorite vacations was to Hawaii, and I would go back there in a second. I haven't managed to get back there since, but it's certainly on my list of somewhere I want to go. The other place top of my list would be Spain, which I haven't been yet. I've been to a lot of places in Europe, but I haven't been to Spain. And then when it comes to hockey, I've had a great opportunity to travel to a lot of different countries, but my favorite place to play, which is what usually I get asked, has always been to play in Canada, and in front of full stadiums with crazy Canadian fans, and that's always been the best environment to be a part of.
Oh, wonderful. So I echo what you said about Hawaii. I've been to Hawaii, and that is my favorite vacation place so far. I also want to go to Spain. But Jayna, let me invite you to Palm Springs, California, because I tell everybody after Hawaii, Palm Springs, California has been my next favorite place in the entire world to travel to and spend time. So I happen to have a place there, Jayna. I'm inviting you right now on the air.
All right. Everyone hears this. So
that's right.
I'm going to have to take you up on it.
Awesome. And then, Jayna, let's just close with a fun fact about yourself. Just something that many of us may not know about you.
Yeah, I don't think people know too much about my personal life, but one thing I do love to cook. So I love to eat, but so I love to cook, I guess, because I love to eat. But so that, and then I have 3 young kids that are constantly running around and being crazy, and that's kind of what keeps me busy outside of this job is following them around, which is obviously the best job as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, Jayna, congratulations on your recent inductee into the Hall of Fame for Canada and your new role as the commissioner of the CWHL.
Thanks,
congratulations,
Shannon.
And thanks for being on the show.
Anytime. Thank you.
Inside stories, interviews, and cutting-edge tips from the leading coach in ice hockey. Tune in to Hockey Talk with Shannon Miller. This is Wisp Sports.
And that's our show for this week. Thanks to my guest again, Jayna Hefford. And I would also like to thank all of the commissioners, the general managers, and administrative staffers that worked so hard behind the scenes to allow the coaches and athletes to live our dreams and be part of the greatest game on earth. Follow and comment on social media. Twitter is at Wisp Sports. My Twitter is at Miller12Shannon. My Facebook and Instagram is at Coach Shannon Miller. And my website is CoachShannonMiller.com. You can find links in the show notes for this episode at wispsports.com and find more coverage of women's sport. Thanks for supporting women in sport everywhere.